From the Samsung Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
A man finds a teenage intruder in his home, fires on him, and kills him. It happened in Schuylkill County. The intruder shot dead. Our top story on News 13 for this Monday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Baczynski. A Schuylkill County man is dead after he broke into a house in McKeansburg over the weekend. State police say the intruder knew the homeowner who shot him. But as Matthew Petrillo tells us, there's a lot that police are still trying to figure out.
State police in Frackville say there's a lot of unanswered questions about the death of 18-year-old Zachary Foster. It happened after Foster came up here on Steep Mountain Road Saturday night in McKeansburg. The road is nothing more than a narrow one-lane path leading only to a handful of houses. One of those houses is 57 Steep Mountain Road, where Kurt Stein lives. The house is protected by ADT security and has a sign that says trespassing may result in injury or death. But that didn't stop Foster from breaking into the home in broad daylight early Saturday evening.
The actor arrived and damaged 2 exterior entrance doors, forcing entry into the residence.
Now, no one was in the home during the break-in, but Stein pulled up shortly after, and police reports say Stein noticed something wasn't right. After Stein saw 2 of his doors damaged, he went back to his car to get his gun. But when he entered the home, Foster didn't retreat.
The actor initiated a physical altercation and was shot by Mr. Stein.
Now, the Stein and Foster families did know each other, but it's not clear why Foster broke into the home. Now, investigators are trying to determine whether or not his death had just cause.
The investigation is continuing along with the Pennsylvania State Police Trooper John Powis, the coroner Dr. David Moylan, and our office.
Meanwhile, doctors at Lehigh Valley Hospital conducted an autopsy on Foster Monday. Those results will be critical to determine whether Stein had the right to shoot Foster or whether criminal charges could be filed. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, East Brunswick Township.
Tons of police activity on the ground and in the air in Latimer Mines yesterday. It was all over a man from Muncie who stole a van and followed his ex-girlfriend to her home in Hazel Township. A search involving state and local police on the ground and helicopters in the air was all for this man, 36-year-old Josh Phillips. On Saturday, he apparently stole a cable service van headed to his ex's, who called police. When they got there, he'd overdosed on heroin and Xanax. They took him to Hazleton General Hospital for treatment, but on Sunday he escaped. That triggered the 3-hour manhunt through Hazel Township, where he was spotted and finally recaptured. He'll be charged with theft of a motor vehicle along with several other counts. It was a shocking discovery. Several packets of heroin were found near a local playground in Hazleton this weekend. 8 unopened baggies of heroin were found near Beech Street Playground on Sunday. Hazleton police say that they're aware of the rise in drug trafficking in that area. Now, cameras have been installed. Surveillance vehicles constantly patrol the street. Police believe the drug trade on Beech Street has become so commonplace that somebody might have just left their heroin behind.
And that just shows me the blasé attitude of several of the drug users and drug dealers in that area, where they just drop drugs and don't even realize it. I would ask anyone in that neighborhood who has any information on any of the identities to include the 2 younger women with the car seats and young children in the back to please contact the Hazleton Police Department at 459-4940. What's most important for this drug clientele that thinks that they're so coy and aloof and that they're getting away with it, I have another thing coming for them.
As you heard the chief say, there are several open drug cases in that area. Police ask anybody with info to come forward. A day that was to be a big firefighter celebration turned into a disaster for one local fire company. The Washington Hook and Ladder Company No. 1 in Monnoy City was heavily damaged by fire just hours before the company was set to march in Saturday's big parade there. Fire officials say the blaze was apparently sparked in a 1993 aerial truck that was parked in one of the bays at the fire station. That truck was destroyed. Fire also damaged the truck bay and equipment that was stored there. Station was built back in 1887, and a structural engineer will have to determine whether or not it'll have to come down. Firefighters are looking for the community to come together to help them through this tough time.
Taking a lot of effort to rebuild from this. I just thank everybody for the support, and we're going to need a lot more support. Anything anybody could do to help would be appreciated.
Cause of that fire currently under investigation. A fund has been set up at the M&T Bank in Mahanoy City to help Washington Hook and Ladder with its recovery. Well, that fire took place in the midst of Mahanoy City's big birthday celebration. Stephanie Gorney was there as folks from all over came out to help the borough blow out 150 candles.
It's a birthday party that many do not get to attend, but hundreds of people came out on Saturday to help celebrate Mahanoy City's 150th birthday. Many adults have grown up participating in this parade when they were just a young child.
Well, I was born and raised in Mahanoy City, and of course, this is the 150th anniversary, and it's a great time. I mean, I remember when it was in 1963, when I was 12 years old, pulling the little coal wagon through it. But we're seeing a lot of old friends. People are coming back and reminiscing and how they grew up and graduated from both Mahanoy Township and Mahanoy City High Schools.
Along with celebrating the big birthday, the parade also included the 59th Volunteer Schuylkill County Firemen's Convention, which included fire departments from all over Northeast Pennsylvania.
Over 300 units in the parade. It's going to be 3.5 hours. We started planning this 7 years ago, and here it is. We see the finish line at the race. I just can't even, I'm speechless with the support that the town gave us and all the communities around us. I really am speechless.
Residents of the city were excited to see this celebration finally happen and to support the firemen.
These firemen, thank for all these firemen and all the police around here that they came today. It's about time Mahanoy have something. Yeah! Yes!
Children of all ages were just happy to see a huge parade and watch all the attractions.
We're watching the parade.
Are you excited for the parade?
Yes.
And what are you excited to see in the parade?
Fire trucks.
What's your favorite part of the parade?
Candy.
Residents hope to see the celebration continue and hopes that it grows larger as the years go on. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Mahanoy City.
And first responders from all over the area were invited to one local church this weekend for a special mass of thanks and prayer. The Holy Dormition Friary opened its doors to local heroes on Sunday for a blue mass. It was a way to thank them for all the service that they provide. Men and women from all over the region who serve as firefighters, police officers, EMTs were all invited to come out and remember those first responders who've passed on. First responders were also invited to bring their gear with them to be blessed.
And we're going to, after the service, we're going to bless what they call turnout gear, which is the gear firefighters use to fight fire. From the helmet, the Nomex hoods, the coats, the gloves, the pants and the boots, and even we're going to bless air packs today as they're so vitally important for the safety of our firefighters who put their lives on the line every day.
And after the blue mass, response trucks and other apparatus also received a special blessing outside the church. Still ahead on News 13, the work week is here, and that means we're back to showers and thunderstorms. We'll tell you how long they'll last in News 13 weather. But first, President Obama sells his plan to cut the high cost of college in our region. We'll take a look back at his visit coming up on News 13. It was a big day for one local city. President Obama brought his proposal of cheaper and more efficient higher education to Scranton on Friday. Christina Papa was there as he addressed students and middle-class families at Lackawanna College.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you my friend, your president, Barack Obama.
President Barack Obama has been touring colleges in some of the country's toughest economic areas. Friday night, he made his last stop on a bus tour count, addressing college students and middle-class families right here in northeastern Pennsylvania for the first time in over a year.
Hello, Lackawanna!
Supporters, protesters, college students and families stuffed into the athletic complex at Lackawanna College for a chance to see the president in person.
For me to be able to see a president up close is very, very important to me.
Scranton native Vice President Joe Biden got plenty of cheers from the crowd.
Hello, Scranton!
He made the presidential message clear right off the bat.
People who grew up in neighborhoods like this one, the one I grew up here in Scranton, have dreams just as big, just as expansive, and just as accomplishable as any place in the world.
The crowd was riled up and eager to hear Obama's proposal on making higher education more affordable for the middle class.
increase value, encourage innovation, help people manage their debt after graduation. Then we'll help more students afford college, we'll help more students graduate from college, we'll help more students keep their debt low and repay it faster.
Obama's message hits home for Lackawanna graduate Eureka Carver. She introduced the vice president Friday night.
I'm a single parent, and sometimes you have to choose between school and work, and I feel like we should all have the opportunity to do both.
The crowd was responsive the entire time, even protesters waiting till he finished his speech to call out and voice their concerns to the president.
We can do that. Well, there you go. Now this is going to...
Whether or not these ideas are put in place, students like Andrew Feldman say something's gotta give.
It's all about the hope that the opportunity I have right now will give me opportunities later in life to succeed.
A better bargain for the next generation. And Scranton, we're going to need your help to get it done. God bless it. God bless the United States of America.
Christina Papa, News 13, Scranton.
And speaking of schools, students from across the region are beginning to head back to school over the next 2 weeks. Today was the first day of school at Holy Family Academy in Hazleton. There are plenty of photo ops as parents dropped off the beautifully dressed youngsters on Laurel Street. Student closures within the regional diocese meant that a number of students who had attended other Catholic schools were coming to the academy for the first time. And while staff says there were a few student tears as well as some anxious parents, it was still a pretty good first day back.
We're really excited about this school year. They all look crisp and shiny, and they're all ready to go, and they really listened very, very well on the first day of school, so we're looking forward to a great year.
There's some new changes at the Academy this year, including an indoor welcome area where parents can drop off and pick up youngsters. And it's time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar. Back to the work week and back to that pattern of showers and thunderstorms moving through. And they're going to continue at least here and there into the overnight. Creative Condition was drawn for a little nicer day. It's by Jade Palacios, a student at Hazleton Elementary Middle School. And she drew a great playground and even included a sandbox and a hopscotch area. And now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. Mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a low around 65 degrees. Then for Tuesday, partly sunny, but with a slight chance of morning showers, then a slight chance of late afternoon showers and thunderstorms, a high up to 81 degrees. Chance of storms continues into the overnight, low 69. Heading to Schuylkill County, tonight a chance of showers and thunderstorms into the overnight with low getting down to 61 degrees. Then for Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high up to 85. Chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue at night with a low around 65 degrees. And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The daily 394, Big 4, 5454. Quinto 74624, and the treasure hunt 17, 18, 21, 22, 30. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, a block party fundraiser for the Boy Scouts and Weatherly Museum will be held September 14th at Tulip Alley in Weatherly. The event will be held from 1 to 7 p.m. with live music, food, carnival games, bounce castle, basket raffle, face painting, and much more. And one more quick announcement, the Hazel Township Fire and Rescue Company will be holding a pasta dinner September 28th from 4 to 7 p.m. Advance tickets are on sale now, $6 for adults and $4 for kids. Contact any member for tickets or details, or just call 570-454-3411. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Jane Margle Slevin of Cabin John, Maryland. Services were held in Bethesda, Maryland. Mary B. Roberts, formerly of Hazleton. Funeral is Wednesday at 1 p.m. at the Damiano Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Catherine Kitty A. Esposito of Hazleton. Mass is Wednesday at 11 a.m. in the Most Precious Blood Church. Friends may call at the church from 10 to 11 a.m. The Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Robert A. McLaurin of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Turnbach Funeral Home. Helen M. Michaleshko, formerly of Freeland. Funeral is Tuesday at 10 a.m. in the Immaculate Conception Parish at St. Anne's Church. Friends may call Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m. The Harmon Funeral Home is assisting the family. And Virginia E. Belinsky of Drums. Mass is Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. in the St. Cyril and Methodius Parish at St. Joseph's Church. There will be no public viewing. The Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Doves of White, serving Schuylkill and surrounding counties, call 570-205-1597.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr. and Ron Marchetti.
Well, this last week of August, a lot of big things happening, including the start of so many of the high school sports. We know we got golf and tennis already up and running, but just about everything else by the time we get to the week's end will be in full gear. So that's obviously a good thing. But first, let's take a look and check in with our minor league report. You know, these are the dwindling days in the minor leagues. Remember, unlike the major leagues, they only play till Labor Day. So a week to go. Here's what we've got. Russ Kanzler, 2 for 5, knocked in a run. His Indianapolis team still in first place. They beat Rochester. The Paw Sox of Pawtucket fame knocked off the Rail Riders 6-5. That was the final in that one. Meanwhile, the Iron Pigs 7-0 winners over Buffalo. There's your schedule today of all of those AAA teams as they start their last full week. Now, as far as the standings, it's all but over in the International League North Division. The Red Sox AAA affiliate Pawtucket, as you see right there on the screen, they have a comfortable 10-game lead over Rochester. As far as the Iron Pigs and Scranton Wilkes-Barre, well, way off the mark, and they'll just be finishing out the string. Now, Russ Kanzler's club, different story. They're spotting one of the best records in all of the International League. They're in first place, and no one will touch them there. So Indianapolis will be going into the playoffs starting next week. So Kanzler's going to get some extra baseball, and don't know if that's good or not, because if you got extra baseball, you can't get called up to the big league team. Now, let's go back to the locals. Here's what we've got. It's the annual Tom Treba Tournament at the Fox Hill Country Club. That's on the west side, up in the Wyoming Valley. You got Hazleton and you got MMI participating in that one. You got MMI and Hazleton playing tennis this afternoon as well. Wyoming Sem, always one of the good teams in the league. They're visiting the Hazleton courts today. Meanwhile, the Tunkhannock Tigers, they're over on the north side. They're taking on the girls from MMI Prep down in the Schuylkill League. Tamaqua Pottsville, they're doing battle there in the county seat of Schuylkill County. Major League Baseball, the Rays, well, this is the first and probably the only time you're going to see a one-game road trip. Never happened in the history of the Rays. They're in Kansas City. They're making up a game that on the first week of May was snowed out. You forget it was that cold that late into the spring. They'll return right home after the game. The Yanks open up a series in Toronto tonight, and the Phillies and the New York Mets, they meet at Citi Field over in Queens. Now, on the weekend, it's always Mountain Speedway action, and we have exactly what took place. Speaking of makeups, it was the makeup from the end of July in the modified 30 lap, and Matt Hirschman came away with the win. As far as the modified 75 lap, well, you got a different race, but the same winner. Matt Hirschman, again, takes the checkered flag. In the street stocks, Chris Berg, he finished ahead of the pack. That, of course, is the 25-lap race. The factory stocks, Matt Maturin, and in the four cylinders, it was Ray Fennell, who came across with top honors down at the Speedway. Mountain Speedway always having lots of action over the weekend, and boy, summer slipping by, you get a chance. You want to get down there and see them before they call it a season. Tonight's sports is brought to you by Mountain Speedway. Here's a look at this weekend's action. It's going to be busy. The racing will begin at 6, so plenty of action this Saturday. Just $10 for grandstand admission. Kids under 10 are free, and if you're active military or a senior, you get a $2 discount. There's the website and the phone numbers. You could call them and get all the information on the excitement of racing down at Mountain Speedway.
Welcome to Trivia Treats on this August 26th. Hi, everybody. 40 years ago in 1973, players from the United States and the Cuban national basketball teams traded punches during a 98-76 victory by the Americans at the World University Games at the Central Army Sports Club in Moscow. With less than 2 minutes remaining, 7'3" center from North Carolina, Tom Burleson, and a team member from Cuba scrambled for a loose ball. Cuban players from the bench raced onto the floor, sparking a brawl that lasted 5 minutes before the Soviet police could restore order. The U.S. went on to win the competition with a perfect 9-0 record, including a 75-67 triumph over the USSR in the title clash. Exactly 70 years ago today, in 1943, the Philadelphia Athletics extended their losing streak to 20 games with a 6-5 loss at the hands of the White Sox in the first game of a doubleheader at Comiskey Park in Chicago. Mother of God. However, the A's ended the nightmare with an 8-1 victory in the nightcap. The A's lost 62 of their final 77 games in that 1943 season to finish the year with a record of 49 and 105. Needless to say, they were in the cellar. On this day in 1982, 31 years ago, Rickey Henderson broke Lou Brock's single season stolen base record during a 5-4 Oakland Athletics loss to the Brewers in County Stadium in Milwaukee. Brock set the mark with 118 steals for the Cardinals in 1974. Henderson's 119th stolen base in 1982 occurred after he drew a walk from Doc Medic. Medic threw to first base 4 times before Henderson beat a throw to second. He then pulled second base from the mooring and held it high as the Milwaukee crowd saluted his feat. Henderson ended his career in 2003 with 1,406 stolen bases, far ahead of Brock's 938, which ranked second. And finally, in 1963, 50 years ago today, the Minnesota Twins collected 12 home runs while crushing the Washington Senators 14-2 and 10-1 in a doubleheader at DC Stadium. The 12 homers were one shy of the Yankees' 1939 Major League record for a twin bill. Till Friday, be a good sport. Stay loose.
Well, here's what our media partner, the Standard Speaker, is working on for tomorrow's edition. A teenager convicted of brutally murdering his friend 21 years ago in Hazleton appeals his life sentence. You can read all about it in the Tuesday edition of the Standard Speaker. Well, the weather was perfect this weekend to have some hot and stinky good fun. The Keystone State Hot and Stinky Garlic Festival was held over the weekend at Zanolini Nursery in Drums. While there were many favorite dishes containing garlic, there were also some unusual treats like garlic fudge and garlic cupcakes. On Sunday, there was a garlic eating contest where people lined up to see how many cloves they could eat, and there was also a hot pepper eating contest, too. This local hot and stinky festival has apparently kicked off the season of garlic festivals.
Well, it's a good festival. This is one of our earlier festivals. We go to about 8 to 9 garlic festivals throughout the fall. So it's a good start for us, a good crowd of people, and a nice day out.
No word on how well the breath mint concession did. And plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13. A Schuylkill County homeowner confronts an apparent burglar and shoots him dead. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.